Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After podcast.
No, I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah, no. Yet again, another episode. Clearly, Jeff Probst is wanting to get into that musical career. Now he's bringing on
Yeah.
Zach Brown. We get
Uh,
way too much singing.
yeah. Well, all right. We'll get into that for a sec. But first off, I am Ryan Neo Wayne, and we have Joe King, and we're here to talk about Survivor 50's episode 4. So this was definitely an episode. I'm a little mixed on it. I like the gameplay that happened,
Yeah,
but all right. But obviously Zach Brown comes in and he takes up quite a bit of the episode. When we're going early, I was like, oh wait, are we getting like a double as well? But they spend a lot of time. I get it was like a collab, so obviously Zach Brown wanted a bit more screen time.
yeah.
I don't blame him. But to people who are not Zach Brown fans, we're just kind of like, all right, cool. He's a good musician. All right, this is nice info about him. But what about the game? Okay.
Yeah. Especially, we find out who's going to go to tribal council, and then we don't really get to them for a very long time.
It feels like that. I was watching the first half of it at work. And then I had to pick it up when it finally came out on Paramount Plus. And it's like they spent a lot of time talking about Zach. I keep wanting to say Zach Braff. Uh, two very different Zachs.
Yeah.
But because like once he was like part of the challenge and stuff, we see him going spear fishing. We see him have confessionals, which I can't wait till we get to the confessional counts because
It's wild. Yeah.
yes. And then we're following up with the losing team. Oh, well, not the losing team, but the second place team. And then they're talking about Zach Brown. And then, well, the team going to tribal council, they're like, oh yeah, Zach Brown. But like they're more on the strategy. But it was like a huge portion of it was just Zach Brown, and I'm like, I want to watch the players play.
Yeah.
Also, I know it's announced for next episode, but also it's like, when are we getting a double? Like, we're already like one fourth through the game,
Yeah.
and and we still have 20 players in the
Not,
game. I'm like,
yeah.
if I was their AD, I would be like, guys,
We gotta
like, come
hurry
on.
up. Yeah. This
Yeah,
was day 9 of the 26 days, and we just finally got our 20th place person taken out. So
yeah. So it's like there is a bit of a pacing issue. I will also say, uh, I know that I'm my concern. Well, I have two concerns after this episode.
mhm.
One, is since I'm on the topic of that specifically, the pacing, I'm worried that the merge might be a little yada yada
Mhm.
because we've had like 4 episodes in a row where it's only been really one elimination,
Mhm.
and then we got one medevac. But that was a 3-hour episode, and it's like, like I'm also looking at it
Mhm.
from like the game makers like point of view. It's like, okay, if we're doing it this way, then they're thankfully we're getting a double next episode, but I'm worried about the back half of the season being like,
Yeah.
oh, doubles, and then it kind of like cheapens the rest.
Yeah, they bring back the do or die twist or something like that. Like they just keep finding new ways to just be like, how do we get people out really
Yeah.
quickly?
Another thing I'm a bit concerned about after this video, and I'm not alone here. I saw someone post about it. If they dedicated this much to Zach Brown in one
Mr. Beast.
episode, Mr. Beast, love him or hate him, and like I'm familiar with Mr. Beast. I think he makes some decent content out there.
Mhm.
However, I don't want like I don't want to spend like 30 minutes on of him on Survivor. I'm like, I want to get to
Yeah.
the people. I feel like the briefcase thing might be a elimination thing.
Yeah.
but we'll find out.
Yeah. I just can already see the confessional about him talking about his chocolates and being like, this is all for like basically just advertisements for Mr. Beast as his confessionals. And we get like 30 minutes of
Is Jacqueline Sturkey?
yeah, exactly. I genuinely can like imagine and be like, I had to fight for everything in my life. That's why I am making these products so that way it can help you. like finding some weird ways to go in there. I already can see that them doing that because I mean we got so much Zach Brown and like yeah, it did seem like he was a fan of the show way more than Billie Eilish because Billie Eilish couldn't even be bothered to post about Survivor.
That that
um,
also seemed like because like some people were like, is she really a fan?
yeah,
Because she didn't say, like, you know, because some people didn't mention. Now I know there are some Survivor fans or like some Survivor fans that we've either A seen in the finales or like B we they've
yeah,
mentioned it before on like
yeah,
social media, but like I don't know if
yeah,
Billie Eilish has ever mentioned. I'm not a big Billie Eilish follower. Like I like her
yeah.
music, but I'm not like I don't know the ins and outs of her life.
Yeah, I mean, it basically came out that she was given a list of three different advantages for the idol, and then she said that one seems cool, and that was the extent of her involvement of this. But then they named an idol after her, so
Mm.
it wasn't really like she came up with this cool idea because she thought it would be good for the show. It was just one of the ideas that a producer had come up with, and she just randomly picked it out of the other two.
Yeah. We'll see if the other two come up, like if that's a Jimmy Fallon thing or Jenna Fisher thing. We'll find out. But yeah, so this episode kind of starts off pretty, like leaves Stephanie like, yeah, I'm kind of screwed, or maybe, like, and then it's like Emily being like, I really want to work with Ozzy and stuff like that. And then now we should take out Angelina.
Mhm.
And oh boy, Emily Flippin in this episode. It was something where I was a little nervous for her because like
Yeah, same.
it's like the edit is showing her as in like she cannot keep a secret or like
She
oh
she
god.
is a very messy player and she just is okay with saying whatever is on her mind. She cannot keep a secret. She cannot like she's just gonna tell people. Because
And I mean
literally,
that can
yeah.
and that might fly on like, new era like season and stuff like that. It's not going to fly, like I think this was kind of like her freebie. Like the last one, it was just like, okay. This time I was like, she was a target. And then also like people were like, even her closest ally on there, Christian was like, is Mike White right about this? Like, I don't want to give him that like credit because I'm targeting him, but like I don't know, like when it comes in deeper into the game and stuff, and that's something you do have to consider, but like
Yeah.
uh I don't know, this team makes a lot of interesting decisions.
Oh yeah, this team like is just gonna suck in every challenge. Also, this tribe is absolutely going back to tribal council next week. We know it's a double. There's no way that this tribe is getting first place in that challenge. We are going to see
No.
another person of this tribe go to tribal council again.
The question is, will they be dead last or second place? But
Yeah.
another thing um that was brought up, I was like, yeah, we got rid of Q, who was really helped us out in challenges, but then we'll be more loyal to each other. And I feel like that's better moving forward. And I'm like, it depends on where you are in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you have three people. Also, Emily, you've been to every single tribal council at this point.
Yeah.
You and Christian and Ozzy.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to keep doing that. And lo and
Yeah.
behold, history, there are still 11 people left in this game, I believe, if my calculations are correct, who have not seen tribal council yet. I'm
Yeah.
sure that number is going to go down drastically next episode. But still, I'm just like, how? What? Huh? It's
Yeah.
just like and then they lose hilariously because like like
Yeah.
even they were caught under the net, they weren't even like close. And I hate bashing this team because there's a lot of people I enjoy on this team, but it was like it's like the other two, it was like a close race. Them, it's just like if we're looking at the Ghidorah meme,
Mhm.
where it's like the other two, like you have like the teal tribe and you have the orange tribe looking fierce, and Callow is kind of looking over, and like the Vatu tribe is looking a little goofy. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I
no,
hate to say
it reminded me almost like some kind of horror movie where like they were just getting suffocated, like they literally were just like trapped in there, and they just were like, I can't get out, we can't do anything here. uh,
it. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, they like, and you could literally see where how like the other tribes had people like Joe, Jonathan, like those people who were able to like push the boat and like get the water out. Like they just had all that, like someone who just literally could just like bring it and carry it through. Um, or it's like I guess this tribe was supposed to have Ozzy, but he's just not at that level that he used to be. Like he needs someone else like a Q, who then that could have they could have combined to become that Jonathan, that Joe. But because they
even
don't have him,
even Mike White's six pack was not able to help them here.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, 9 days into the game, you know, even Mike White, it's just trying to Mike White is going to not be able to have that energy and that strength.
Yeah. But yeah, so this was a pretty close like challenge near the end. It was something where obviously Zach Brown comes out and then D is super. It seemed like his two biggest fans were on the second place tribe,
Yeah.
that being Jonathor and D.
Mhm.
Though Chrissy, I think Chrissy was up to, she's like, no, I want Zach Brown on my tribe.
Yeah, I know. She was giving him eyes. She had the big eyes for Zach Brown.
I mean, like
Zach Brown,
more.
you should come back with us. You should stay the night at our camp.
Mhm.
Oh,
No. But it was that was a little funny in that moment.
yeah,
But yeah, so it's the one where you need tall people to hold up the blocks and stuff, where they do the arch.
yeah,
And there is someone that would have been on that tribe that would have done it a previous season, but
yeah,
I'm not gonna like I saw a post and it was like, this is the Q curse. It's like you voted him
yeah.
out, this is your consequence.
Yeah.
And
I saw him tweet about it. It was like, hey, I'd be really good in that challenge. Like he was just
your goddamn right would be.
yeah, so this is what happens in I think whenever you eliminate a challenge person way too early. Like it just
Yeah,
screws you over. It seems like a great idea in like the heat of the moment, and then the
not
second,
really.
well, because when you think about it, like in Chris's perspective and Emily's perspective, Q is just a ball of chaos. Like that's how they perceive him. So it's like, let's get rid of the ball of chaos, and then hopefully the next thing we can just get to the puzzle, and that'll be fine. They don't have
Here's the
this.
thing.
They don't have the strength now to get to the puzzle and a lot of these challenges.
Here's the thing. And I've said it many a times on this channel. Going to tribal council is like playing Russian roulette. The best way to win Russian roulette is to not play
Yeah.
Russian roulette. And it doesn't matter who you are. We've seen people play their idols. We've seen people have steal votes. It doesn't matter, like people can go home because of craziness. Now, granted, depending on your tribe position and stuff like that, it's not as risky as other times. However, there is still the inherent risk of going to tribal council,
Mhm.
or you do have a bad read on the situation.
Yeah.
Um, things like that. And it's like, especially with how fast this game is going, and especially since, like I would have thought they wouldn't have been naive to think that even though there hasn't been doubles so far in the game, that if they're only out there for 26 days, it can't just be, during the merge and post merge where there's going to be doubles or potentially triples or anything like that.
Mhm.
It's like, no, it's going to happen like soonish.
Yeah, and to think next episode double is going to happen. We'll then finally be at 18 players after that, which is then the normal standard time of
17
um oh
because we
yes.
lost Mike White, so
Yeah, that's right.
17.
So 17. Okay, well, so regardless, it's still like the equivalent of how a new era season starts, and that's going to be on either day 10 or 11.
Yeah. Uh, I feel like what will probably happen, it's it's something that you said, and I think I've seen one or two posts about it, where it's going to be the first triple, and it's going to be like, each tribe is going to, compete for individual immunity.
Yeah.
And then it'll be down to 14 because usually in New Era, around the episode, at least either around episode 6 or episode 7, usually that's when we get to the merge or the mergatory kind of like portion of the game.
Hmm. I mean,
So,
that's going to be crazy for purple if we get a double then a triple, because that means that tribe is going to be down to 3 people
I
if
mean,
they did that.
I'm pretty sure if the tribes keep staying the way they are, they're just like, because they're already down to 5 people.
Hmm.
Uh, if they're most likely going, so they will be down to 4.
Yeah.
And they even said it. I believe it might have been Christian that was like, in Survivor, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Like the weak get weaker.
Hmm.
Especially in New Era because you don't have Flint now. Grant, you don't have Flint. Your work gets divided amongst more people. Now one of the teams just got well fed, got well rested, had a morale boost as well.
Yeah.
Um, and don't have to worry about the game because there is some mental energy you have to spend when you go to tribal council and that stress, and that does take away from your energy or like
Hmm.
your whether it is physical, whether it is mental. It takes away at you.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I just want to quickly say, I feel like I know what tribes are going to go to tribal council next week because they also gave us a huge thing about the Rizzo and Charlie beef, which we see even more in this episode. They're
Yes.
building that up. I'm pretty positive that they're going to go, and we're going to lose either Rizzo or Charlie next week.
I Well, another great thing about this episode,
Hmm.
and this, like a Genevieve, I've always been a Genevieve fan, and I'm glad she is doing pretty decent in this game. I'm gonna put like a little asterisk next to that because we don't know how this Aubrey thing is gonna play out, especially
Yeah.
because Aubrey has an idol. Um, so Genevieve finds another boomerang idol. And she's like, all right, I can probably give it to Rizzo because, like, he wouldn't expect it from me if we end up on the same tribe and me like blindsiding anything like that.
Yeah.
And then little does Rizzo know he's actually in danger on that tribe. Or I
Uh-huh.
say that in quotations because, like, right now, the only person talking about it on that tribe is
It's Charlie.
Charlie. So my thing is, I think the danger of like Rizzo having it is that he might try and like flaunt it for implicit immunity because it worked so well last season.
Hmm.
But it's one of those things where sometimes you get lucky with a certain thing and then it forms bad habits. I would hate for it to be a bad habit this season.
Yeah. I mean, it did look like D was talking to him about probably Charlie is, saying his name because that's that's kind of like how it was implied in the next time on Survivor or whatever. So I think he knows that Charlie's going to be voting for him. So if he does think that there's a couple more people on the Charlie train, I do kind of think he might just play it and Charlie goes home.
It
So
it is possible.
yeah,
Like, yeah, I would say this season is hard to read on the sense of like who may or who may not go home because we
mm,
have seen like Mike White got a pretty decent size edit
yeah,
before his elimination. Q got a pretty decent edit before his elimination. And it's starting to be like, there might not be people who are safe. We also got some new people added to the zero confessional count as well.
yeah. Some big names.
Yeah, and even when there is like content, because we had the whole talent show on that tribe,
Yeah,
uh, which Rizzo doing Mickey Mouse, like all that,
and he
and then
beats Charlie.
but the fate. All right, I will say, if I was on the island, I would have
Uh,
loved. I would have voted for the duet between or the duo of Charlie and Jonathan fighting each other, and
yeah, the
then
stage combat of that. Yeah, I like
yeah,
that too.
that was hilarious. So yeah, I feel like Charlie should have won that. I think that was gasoline on the fire. It's like Rizzo beat me in this talent show.
Yeah.
I had Big Muscle Man to help me out. This is bull crap. He
Oh my
has to
gosh.
go.
Man, if he gets idled out by Rizzo, oh my gosh, this is gonna be his final words at the end of that episode is gonna be insane. He's gonna be so bitter.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. So yeah, but yeah, man, Rick Devens, just nothing.
zero. Him and Suri. Now
And
Suri
Suri.
usually got stuff near the end. I know we'll talk about it later, but I'm in the habit of looking it up afterwards.
Yeah,
And that's why it's going to be funny talking about it this time around.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so like Rick Devens didn't get any. Um, I don't even think Jonathan got one.
He got none. Also Tiffany, I think gets
Tiffany, which we'll
that
get. I want
she,
to save
she
the comments on that for when we have confessional count because you
yeah.
and I both know.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. I feel for her. This is this is not how you ever want to. When you come on an all-star season, you do not want to be the least visible person because I mean, you're just never like if that's how Survivor views you, doesn't matter how far you make it or whatever or how you did. That just means that Survivor does not care about what's going on with you right now.
Yeah, they'll at least give D one thing. They'll be like, "All right, we still like D. You have one confessional, all right?
Yeah.
We still like Charlie. All right, yeah. Coach, sure, yeah, you'll have at least one." But yeah, but it has been crazy with the editing, especially since so much time was dedicated to Zach Brown.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'm sure it's going to be up a little bit next episode because we'll have two tribes going and then we'll get more, like more people saying about what's going on their tribe and stuff
Yeah.
as a result. But
Yeah, but I'm just saying Tiffany is I think on the try that's gonna win because of the Rizzo Charlie
yeah,
feud. So I think she might also get like either a one conventional or a zero again.
yeah.
So
Um, so this time around, so once we go through two different songs,
way too
from
long.
Zach,
We didn't even do
which
the
I'm like,
spearfishing, by the way. That was a way too long segment for. I mean, he had like a whole kit and everything, and then so that he could get bigger fish or whatever. But we did not need to see that. I will just be honest. We did not need to see him actually spearfish. I would have been fine if he just came to camp with the fish and been like, "I caught this. Okay, let's do it."
yeah, it was something where I don't know. It reminded me of two things. Like I said, Zach Brown, if you're ever watching this out of morbid curiosity, I think you're very talented, but like it's not what we wanted to see on the show.
Yeah.
But uh the him singing two different songs on there, and I guess like one of them is a newer one. It reminded me of one season two of Euphoria, where one of the characters was just singing a long song for a while And then I was like, okay, how does this progress the story?
Yeah.
Um, but and then there was another one where it was this one movie with The Weeknd, Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is best. And
Mhm.
then it was like basically Jenna Ortega is going through two Weeknd songs and being like giving like, oh, it's this and this and this. And then it kind of went on for a while, and it's like, all right, this is wait, okay, twice? We're doing this twice? All right. Um, but yeah, so we went through that, but then we finally get to the gameplay. And I feel like this is what kind of saves the episode.
Yeah.
Um, because it is like an interesting like basically they're thinking about doing a 3-2-1. But yeah.
Yeah, which I love, if only Suri was a part of it since she was like, like the person who, created the 3-2-1 vote split. So I mean I'm sure she's proud of this cast for doing that. Um
Yeah.
but yeah, I was very concerned for Emily during this. And I'm sad that we lost Mike White, but yet again, he's doing fine. He didn't need to do great on the season to succeed in life.
He
He's good.
he came on to show his abs.
Yeah.
I feel like that alone, he was like, I was on this season. I
Yeah.
showed everyone that I'm a gilf now. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's fine that he goes out early instead of, because I do think if he made it to a certain point, he might have just ended up getting to the end because everyone's like, well, no one's going to vote for him. So I'd rather him go out here than just be like someone that we know for a fact is not winning this game and takes a spot at final tribal.
The crazy thing is, he wasn't even like Christian Hibiki was very much like, all right, yeah, it should probably be Angelina.
Mhm.
But because Mike was going so hard for Angelina and even using like emotional manipulation, being like,
Yeah.
hey, you remember Gabby from last time you played? This is reading very much like that. And I don't think you want to do that. And then that, really spooked Christian of like Mike White. He's like, he would do that kind of stuff. It was like,
Mhm.
all right, you got to go. And then
Yeah.
that's where everything kind of like the 3-2-1 was kind of like formed.
Yeah, it's also kind of weird because like it's not like Gabby got Christian, by the way. Like technically Christian, Davey plays the idol on Christian and Gabby goes home instead. So,
Yeah. I mean, it still never is nice to be betrayed by allies, especially ones where you know, form close bonds with them.
Yeah.
Um, and so like, and Christian did have a big emotional moment on the island about it. Apparently, he's never like cried about it either.
Yeah.
I guess being on the island and then like really thinking about it back on it 7 years
Mhm.
ago,
Yeah.
it just hit him differently.
Yeah. I mean, I am scared for Christian come emerge because of Emily. Like the fact that how she has been playing, she's gonna say shit come emerge to everyone. Christian's game is going to be like shown to everyone, so it's gonna be like that's just not good. Like she's going to say what she wants to just get people in. And apparently this is how she plays Blood on the Clock Tower on Arhab, is that she just lets everyone know everything. And because of that, she tries to create chaos, so that way that people are so freaked out about everything else that she just slips through. Like apparently that's how she plays those games, and that's what she's doing on this season.
Yeah. Um, my thing is, all right, you're down to five. They're starting to not be anywhere to hide.
Mm,
Um, and Christian was heavily considering, or I don't know. Christian's not one to feign for the camera. He is a big personality, but like I don't think he would be seriously considering Emily if he wasn't actually going to be considering Emily. He doesn't seem like that person.
mm,
So like, you know, when they're trying to split the votes and then he's telling Emily, it was like, hey, you can't tell Ozzy because Ozzy and Mike White are like this. And then first thing she does, now she didn't flat out say, "Oh, Mike White is voting for me. We're voting for Mike White." However,
Mhm.
she was like, "Mike White is going for me. I'm in danger." And then Ozzy is like, "But we're still voting for Angelina, right? Right?" And then having to make everyone lie to him, it's just kind of
Yeah,
like,
I love just Christian in the background being like, duh, duh, duh. Like,
I would be too.
yeah.
It's just like, can you not?
Yeah, and it seemed like she was very close to just outright saying it, and had to. If Christian wasn't doing that, I think she probably would have said something.
Yeah. Um, well, the thing is, it is a little tricky because now we have so like Ozzy was left out of the vote. Mike White did go home. And
Mhm,
then Christian was like, I need to fill you in later. He's like, no. And then Ozzy was like, nah, I'm already too late. It's too late.
mhm,
So that is going to have repercussions for the rest of this tribe. So the thing is, I don't know where this tribe goes
mhm.
because I feel like, yeah, you could get rid of Angelina, but at this point, it's starting to be like they even brought up the point this episode. Angelina, you can kind of get rid of whenever.
Mhm.
Whereas Emily, like I'm starting to see some people be like, if she keeps spilling stuff and causing chaos, then
Yeah.
you know that becomes a bit scarier. We're already losing challenges. We might as well try and bring people that we can trust near the end, which has been their like philosophy so far.
Yeah. What I think is crazy. I mean, and we heard, Christian early on in his for that first try about not creating dirty votes. Like that was a big thing that he wanted to do. Why was Stephanie not even like mentioned as an option? I mean, I know you like Stephanie, but like she was the only person left off on the queue votes. If you wanted to like have actual like, hey, we're now all working like, like harmony, and this is the, like the easiest way, like you take out Stephanie here, Ozzy's not going to be mad at Christian going forward, and like we don't have all these people who are now like divided because now this tribe, they are going to be super messy going forward. If they had taken out Stephanie, it would have not been as like messy.
The thing is, I feel like all three of the thing is Stephanie's not posing any problems, and I think that's the thing. Like Stephanie,
But
she is
but
at
she's
least
she
trying and
she definitely has allies on other tribes, and like she's in survival mode right now where she is not looking for honestly to work with these people pretty much. Like she's been betrayed. She lost her number one because of them. She is going to absolutely go and leave this group at the second that this tribe is no longer here.
but all right, that's in the future. You have to get there. You have to get that point in the game in order for you to worry about that point in the game. And it's like right now it worked better for people's games where it's like, all right, right now Stephanie's not posing immediate threat. She's also one of the stronger players on our tribe in the sense of like who's fit and stuff like that. And especially if we're lacking the physical department, if we don't need to get rid of, like I know Mike White has said like, yeah, yeah, is fit now, but he also said it was like, yeah, I'm still old, dude, but like it's still taking its toll on me.
Yeah, but I don't. I think that he's been just as useful in the challenges as Stephanie. I don't think you're. I don't think it's like, wow, you would have really taken a back like a step down in terms of challenges if you go for Stephanie instead of Mike White. I think that they're pretty like equal in terms of that. And by taking out Mike White, you have now just created where I don't think like I think this is just a very fractured group. Like the only people who are really going to want to work with each other are maybe Christian and Emily, and we've already seen that like that is not going to be great. I think for Christian long term or Emily long term, like it is not going to be great there. So you've just created a situation where like pre-merge for tribal councils, you got like it's all about building trust. It's all about getting people on your side. So that way when you come to a merge, you got people who think that you already got their back. That is not going to be the case of this tribe now. That is this tribe
Is
has
the
has has failed in that
which is
criteria.
ironic, which is ironic because
Yeah,
that's one of the things they've been talking about at last tribal and this tribal
yeah,
is like, hey, we need to be a unified group. And like, even though we're going to tribal council, the positive side of it is we will be a stronger, more, like cohesive like group. And then
yeah,
it's had the total opposite effect. And
yeah.
also, I want to point out, I love how, even though you were like, yeah, I'm going to get Stephanie and stuff like that, and like, I've never shit on her, you proceed to shit on her,
Oh, I'm just saying that
even
like that's
now.
this that like if this was anyone in this situation that Stephanie has found herself in, she should be the easy person here. If you want, if they're talking about tribe unison and harmony and making sure that everything is all good, she is the person that they should have been talking about if that is their goal.
Maybe, but from the looks of it, four out of like out of the four tribal councils we got, I would say there was only like one kind of like easy vote. And even then, that still could have went a couple of ways. And that was the Savannah vote. Like
Mhm.
Savannah seemed like, yeah, she's new, she's a winner. Yeah. The Jenna one, they were still debating. It's like, hey, it's early on. Do we really want to? Even though that was like something where, yeah, it was a 7-1. I still feel like, all right, they're still going for a big player.
Mhm.
So it's like one of those things where a lot of the eliminations we've had so far have been big players. So I think the easy vote won't always be the go-to for a lot of them. I think they're out for not necessarily blood, but they are thinking long term, which could hinder them because you also have to get through the short term. Otherwise, all
Yeah.
these plans and shit you have will not matter.
What I was talking about before, Stephanie is not great for their long term either. Like if you're trying to think like long term, then that's a problem with Stephanie too. I think she's a problem short term, long term, middle term. Like I think for where they are in this game, like Stephanie is not going to be equating into Christian's game. Stephanie is not going to be equating into Emily's game. She is someone that is going to just be a cog that gets like everything messed up later on for them if she's still in this game. And Christian just took out someone who I do think would have been working very long term with Christian, because he got spooked because of something that Mike had said. But to be fair, I think that this was way too early for Christian. I think that this was not the move that Christian should be making here. He should have been with the David versus Goliath alliance, because that like Angelina and Mike, they're going to work with him at least pretty deep into the merge. Stephanie, the second that Christian's name comes up, that it seems like people are down for, Stephanie's going to say, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. He's a threat," you know.
Well, I disagree in some regards because the thing is, if that trio was still there, they would be automatically targeted. I mean, hell, when they all ended up on the same tribe together,
Mm-hmm.
part of the reason they targeted Angelina was like, all right, she's like the weakest of the bunch, and then we break up that potential trio.
Yeah,
I do feel like short term, yeah, it could benefit Christian to stay with the David and Goliaths, but there's two things. One, when you get to the next phase of the game, people are going to assume that you're working together. Even if it's not true, the assumption is enough for putting that huge target on your back. And Christian's target is going to be pretty big when it comes to close to the merge or at the merge. Two, um, by doing this, it also I forget what point two was. My bad.
nice.
Oh, because that was anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think um I think come the merge when the jury starts, I think that would have been a great time to been like for Christian to go to people and be like, "Hey, I'm not really with the Dave versus Goliath. Let's take out a Mike White. Let's take out an Angelina because then guess what? You can lower the
I
threat
don't
level
think
and you can get them onto the jury.
the thing is, I don't think they go after Mike White or Angelina at the merge. That's the thing is, if you're looking like the biggest threat out of the three, it is Christian.
But he's
Even
also
now,
he's also one of the most likable people. I mean, his
he
original
is,
tribe.
but like a bit, we both, part of the reason he was taken out last time was because of his likability.
Yeah, but if you can just be likable, you can manage to make it at least a little bit into the merge. Like you're not necessarily like the merge boot, but I think if he had come and pitched to Suri, to Rick Devens, and like really got like some people who are going to be like able to spread and get like, hey, let's go after a Mike White here because he's already got the money. He's already like he let just get him onto the jury so that way it's like, oh, he's here, but he's not going to win. I think people would go for it. I don't think that people are going to be like, oh no, let's just go after Christian because I just like him, so let's just go for him now.
It's tough to say. We won't know. We will never know,
Mhm.
because they're
Well,
not there.
yeah, we're not in that
Also, the thing
world.
is, when push comes to shove, is this if this is the new disaster tribe,
Uh-huh.
and this was like proven, I think 2 episodes in a row, Mike White is always going to defend Angelina.
Mhm.
So they're going to be the closer out of the two, out of the three. They're going to be the closest. You don't want to be the third there because then you have two numbers going into a potential merge, being like, "Hey, that's two numbers. Great. All we need if it's going to be 13 is okay. All we need is five." And they approach the right group of five. Then Christian is gone. Also. So what makes this game a little interesting is, yeah, you form a lot of like day one vibes, and like for your tribe you're with, they were there for like two eliminations, like 5 or 6 days. The thing is, they're going through new tribal councils and new tribes, and you are going through those rounds longer with new people. You don't know what new bonds will be made, and some might be even stronger than what was on your previous tribe. And then there's also sometimes the debacle of like, oh, well, I really like these two people. I've worked with them both on different tribes, but then they're gunning for each other, and then you have to make a choice. And we've seen it so many times on Survivor and in our brand steals. It's like you never know like where the numbers are going to go when you get a group of people together,
Mhm.
and who's going to click with who and who's going to want to work with who.
Mhm.
So all we can really focus on right now is the long-term things that seem like definites and the short-term stuff that is really important right now.
Yeah, I will say, in regards to what you were talking about with the like, oh, Mike and Angelina, he was defending Angelina, so that means that there are two. Yeah, of course he's going to defend Angelina because she's the one in danger at that moment. I think if Christian was in danger, I think Mike would be on the side of trying to help and get Christian off as well. So I don't think it is as clear cut as Mike and Angelina are, like way tighter than what Christian is to either one of them. I really think that it was just the case of Angelina's in danger. Mike says, "Hey, I don't like that because I want to work with her." And it would have been the same thing if Christian was in danger. He would have been like, "I don't like that. I want to work with him." So I really think that I think he lost a close ally here. When frankly he could have taken out someone that I don't think would be in an end game ally for him. So I don't know. I think that that's typically bad is when you lose people who would go deep with you early on.
That is fair. I don't know. There's still plenty of. We all know it's really the bromance between him and Rick Devens.
Yeah,
That's what.
yeah. Which I hope we see more of that because I mean it's uh now that Rick is no longer with Christian, I mean he gets a big old goose egg. I mean that's just that's
It
that's
surprised me too,
that's upsetting.
but that's because there was so much Zach Brown this episode, and it didn't have to be.
It really did
Um,
not.
but yeah, so with that being said, I think we pretty much talked about everything that happened here. The Aubrey Genevieve conflict had a little bit more gasoline on the fire.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see how that pans out. So are you ready to go to confessional counts?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Here on this channel, we value screen time. So we talk about the confessional counts. And this one is rather interesting because someone who's not a contestant got confessionals. And yes, that is plural. And the numbers of this episode, I feel like this episode specifically, you have to look at the numbers of like how many confessionals people got. And then you have to kind of look at the whole. But like the numbers for this episode specifically is very interesting.
Yeah, so I'll just get into it. So Zach Brown got 4 confessionals for this episode. There were only 3 Survivor players who had more confessionals than him in this episode.
Yes.
And there's a couple people who or there's someone who he's has more confessionals across the entire season of, and someone that he's literally tied in confessional count now for that person. So
Which that's very bad. That's
yeah,
extremely bad.
yeah, exactly.
Uh
Um,
let's get right into it.
yeah, so Mike White does go out here. He ends with 17 confessionals overall, one less than Q. So Q had a little more with one less episode. Um,
Damn right.
and then leader is Christian Hubicki. He is now pulling ahead of Ozzy, of course. He is the main character of the season so far. Like, I mean, he's been to all the tribal councils, but like literally it feels like the story is revolving around him, whether good or bad right now.
Yeah.
um and then next up we got Ozzy, who is
Wait,
at
you didn't say what number he had.
uh oh like for this episode.
Yeah, what oh no, what number in general? What how many
Oh,
confessionals?
I thought I said 29.
No, you didn't.
Okay, well, he had 29 confessionals.
Yeah. He got like
Okay.
what, 6 this episode?
Yeah. 6. He's the most confessionals of the episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we got Ozzy, who had 25 confessionals. And he is currently on a 2 confessional streak.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. It's almost like what they did to Say, where Say got so much content in the first half of especially in episode 1, and it kind of like very much skewed the confessional count uh for her.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's still that only two.
What if Ozzy gets second place and this is the hint?
It is possible.
Mhm. It is possible. Um, Okay, so next up, it looks like we got Genevieve, who has 17 confessionals. Um,
Nice.
one less confessional than Zach Brown this episode, though, at 3.
Yep.
Okay, and then next up we got Rick Devens at 14 confessionals. Big
Zero this episode.
big goose egg. And then looks like we got a tie here at 11 confessionals between Aubrey, Joe, and Suri. Suri, to note, gets that goose egg. I think that's good. I think the fans are going to be freaking out about that because
Damn right.
everyone wants Suri to win this game so bad, and they have now just basically told the audience expect her not to win.
Yeah.
And that's not going to fly well with the audience. I think they want it's so surprising because I really think Suri is one of those people that you had to have given her a confessional in every episode, regardless of where she goes out or how she does. She needs a confessional in every episode to give the hope that she could win the game because she is just one of those people by being on the season they didn't have to give her a huge amount of content early on, even for her to have a satisfying win. But now that she has this zero confessional, it's now kind of like, oh, I guess that hope is gone.
I mean, and the sad part is, it's like, I know it's like a big cast, and like sometimes they have to like delegate confessionals to different places. So like, I would like to suspend my disbelief, but the fact that they did that to Sari of all people
Yeah.
speaks volumes.
Yeah, exactly. Also, pardon me, Coach had 13 confessionals, so one under Rick Devens. Coach, I mean, they're just giving him the content, but also, they are okay giving him some negative content pretty frequently. So it's
That is fair.
yeah. Um, okay, so now we just did the 11s. Okay, next up we got Stephanie at 10 confessionals. So just cracking the double digits there for her.
Yeah.
Um, next up we got Colby at 9 confessionals.
He didn't get any last episode, did he?
He got
Or did he get one?
one. So he has a confessional in every episode.
Yeah. He did have a nice one during the Zach Brown thing. It was like, survive, Jeff is always like, you take the experience with you and stuff like that, which is kind of nice, because I know in Heroes versus Villains, by the way, show the audience, I did get the Heroes versus Villains merge buff yin yang on ParamountShop.com. Not sponsored, but
Yeah.
you could sponsor us.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I liked how you said Heroes versus Vision because you were thinking Vision board, but okay.
which I still need to make you one.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
But yes, yes, I do. But yeah, Heroes versus, like he very much was like, no, I'm just kind of like here for the game. He didn't have much fun doing it.
Yeah.
Even he had that one whole thing where it was like, I don't want part of Snickers. Let's get to this challenge. And like
Mhm.
had almost like kind of like some beef with like Jeff Probst, where he was like, I'll go up. Jeff is like, all right, I'll go at my pace, brother. Just like calm down.
Yeah, I'll go when I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Colby. But yeah, he's definitely also kind of in the background right now a little bit for the
Oh,
season.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's never been a tribal, so he hasn't had to like strategize too
I know.
crazily.
And he still has that lost vote from episode 1. So
He still does.
yeah. Okay, next up, ironically, we got Charlie and Rizgod tied at 8 confessionals.
Aww.
Yeah, yeah. They both only got one confessional in this episode. So yeah, but next week I think that they're both going to get a pretty big edit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, next up, we got a tie between Angelina and Jonathan at 7 confessionals.
Several.
Several. um and then next up we got a tie between Chrissy and Camilla at 5 confessionals.
Also not great.
Not great. One more than Zach Brown.
Yes. Only one more than Zach Brown.
Yeah, so they're a little more important than Zach Brown, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, we can say that. Um,
It gets worse.
yeah. D has 4 confessionals, one every episode.
Just as important as Zach Brown.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then Tiffany had a whopping 2 confessionals.
This is her second goose egg.
Yeah, yeah. She is not beating the Haley 4 from Game Changers allegations right now. I think that's what people were saying when she got cast onto the season, and now I mean, like, man, what? Well, like this is now why she should have just been on a New Era All Stars and not season 50. Like I think she could even make it pretty deep in this game, and they just decided,
That she
nah,
is not more important than Zach Brown.
not more important than Zach Brown, not more important than literally anyone on this cast, and they're kind of just like, well, guess that's it. I saw Survivor did like a social media thing where they had Tiffany on it, and I was like, wow, this is more content in this one social media post than she has this entire season.
Yeah. The only like significant thing that kind of happened, because I will even say like her like bonding with Dee and Camilla didn't really have any payoff in that moment or while they were on that tribe,
Yeah.
was confirming to Aubrey that, you know, Genevieve is putting her name out there pretty heavily.
Yeah, like that's the only thing that maybe she has is that she's gonna let Aubrey know that votes are coming for her, and then she plays the idol and takes out Genevieve. I think that's literally like the only thing that Tiffany like is maybe going to be able to do to get content, because if she's not doing that, I just like clearly they don't care enough for like her confessionals or anything else that she's doing on the island, because we're just not even getting it. Like even when she had that moment, it still felt like it was more like about Aubrey getting that information rather than look at Tiffany telling Aubrey like it was not a great like view.
I
She's talking about other people and like how she likes other people, but not about no one's talking about Tiffany and how much they really like Tiffany. It's like she's just there.
yeah. If you I mean like they do show like portions of Tiff like in the challenges
Yeah,
or like around camp and stuff, but it's like there's
she
sometimes where for
sometimes
the casual
she
audience,
yeah
I can see them forgetting that she is there.
yeah. With the friends I talked to, I mean, I said, yeah, Tiffany's not getting any screen time, and they're like, who? Like they just don't know. They don't know who Tiffany is. So, um, yeah, I'm so glad though I didn't trade to get Tiffany.
You know, you've been shitting on Stephanie a lot. How about we trade?
No, I,
You've had nothing but buyer's remorse with Stephanie.
yeah. Well, I'm not getting Tiffany.
I feel like you want Tiffany.
I think Tiffany is the person guaranteed not to win the season out of everyone.
But she's probably going to go further according to your logic.
She might go further. She might not. We don't have enough from Tiffany to know where she's gonna place. Like sometimes they just give like someone who gets to like final four, final five scenarios just no content until like the last few
Oh,
episodes.
Heidi was another one
Yeah,
from 44, but
yeah, exactly. So it's possible to go deep. It just means that there's a 0% chance Tiffany is winning this game.
I will give you Stephanie for Tiffany.
No, I want this to be a PSA to everyone. Ryan doesn't understand trading. He doesn't understand how
I
to trade
understand
anyone. No,
trading.
he doesn't understand value. Like he just assumes like let's just do this. This is what you should do to morally feel
The
better.
thing is, the thing is, you don't value Stephanie.
Yeah, but I know you do. So that's the point of me getting her, was to make you then have to be like, oh dang, I gotta like value, I gotta rearrange how I did this order, this drafting order, because I value Stephanie higher, but you thought I wouldn't have drafted her. So
Yeah, and I'm not playing your little fucking game. So I'm like,
it's the game that you created.
well, it's okay.
You
It
suggested
is a
the
little,
trading.
Joe, it would have been different if this is like fantasy football or fantasy sports, where it's like it's different week to week. Everything is like filmed.
Yeah.
It is locked in what is happening there. Whereas
Yeah.
like fantasy football, all right, yeah, someone could have a bad week, like, oh, Lamar just didn't do too well as a QB, but like, and then like, you know, like he hasn't been doing it for me, but you need a better quarterback. Sure, fine, we'll switch that with like Puka Nakua, and then we'll mix things around or whatever. Um, So yeah, I know football now. But there's a difference between fantasy for that, where you have a bit more like statistics and stuff to follow. With this one, you have pre press, you have what you know, like specifically what you know about these contestants on how they've played before.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
But I understand human emotion, Ryan, and I understand that you on a human level like Stephanie. So therefore, you should have been willing to trade Joe or Tiffany at that time to get Stephanie because
I
you
should have, yes.
yeah.
But now you've done nothing but shit on her. So you
Yeah.
can get Tiffany if you want.
I'll take Joe. I'll
Let me
I'll,
think about
I'll,
it.
I'll do a Steph for Joe trade.
Let me think about it.
Okay. I think that that would be a pretty fair trade still.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
All right. So,
By the way, those two trades that I did, I thought were still fair trades at the time. But you just didn't want to admit that they were, so you're like, no, fuck you, Joe. You're just trying to get something from me.
all right. Should we go to MVP and LVP?
um, yeah, the MVP is a muddy situation. I mean, let's give it to Zach Brown.
I think it's fair. He did. I know we joked and all that, but he did get to live out his dream. So I guess that is cool. He got his screen time.
Yeah.
Um, I will give it to, if I were to give it to a game player, I might give it to, because I think you make some solid points about Christian. I think he's in a, I would on paper give it to him, but if we
Mm,
think about like the implications and how much of a hot mess express that tribe is right now, I think he's kind of like a little worse for wear. He did accomplish what he sought out to do, but I don't know how things are actually going to pan out for him. So I'm going to give it to Genevieve because she found her second idol. She won the immunity challenge and the Zach Raff thing. And then she has two potential boomerangs coming back at her.
mm,
And she also prevented Aubrey, even though it was a boomerang idol, to have
mm.
some sort of like power or something in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
Extra
fair.
power.
Yeah, that's I think that's fair. I am going to give it to the RIZGOD Riz God baby because he
That's awesome.
won the talent show with his Mickey Mouse impersonation. And then yeah, he got the boomerang idol from Genevieve. So he had, I guess, at least done enough to have her give it to him, even though obviously she wants to blindside and backstab him later with it. At least he's got that new thing, and I think that's going to be great ammunition for his battle with Charlie coming up next episode.
Oh, I agree. I agree. LVP. It might be Emily.
I'm giving it to Emily too.
If I were to give it to someone else, um, I feel like yeah, because like Mike White, I think he played the game that made sense for him.
Yeah.
He may have went about it a way that yeah turned Christian off, but I think he played, like he played what made sense. I don't know, like because we really didn't get too much content of anyone else. I'll say
Mm-hmm.
the LVP are the non Zach Brown fans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, I just think Emily, I mean, they've shown us her in a bad
Yeah,
light this episode, especially. Just another one of those kind of cases where, if Emily won this game, I don't think they would have been showing her like this in the seven. Like they would have edited around this kind of messiness that we saw here. So yeah, it pains me to say that, but yeah, I gotta say Emily for this one.
yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. As we already talked about what happens next time. I am
Mhm.
excited to see what happens. Especially because it's a double, that means double the tribal council, double the the action, the chaos. and the entertainment. Because
Mhm.
Lord knows we needed a little bit more of that after this one.
Yeah, exactly. So so yeah, that does it here. We're 4 episodes in. You're getting closer here to the merge. We're getting closer to Mr. Beast. Um, I know you're excited about that, Ryan. I know that that's going to be the best episode of Survivor of all time. It's going to bring in a whole new audience for Survivor. Um,
I know it will. I know exactly why they did it, but
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
yeah. Okay. Well, with that being said, we will see you all in the next one.
Peace.